Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video was actually shot as a live on my Facebook, but instead of just doing a whole nother recording, I'm just going to take what I did that day and post it on my YouTube. I had a lot of really good information that day and I would like to share it with y'all, and so this is pre-recorded. This was a live that I did on my Facebook, and I'm going to post it here today as a video. It's on mental health and wellness. I appreciate y'all watching. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell for notifications. And I appreciate those of you that watch my videos. Thanks, guys. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is having a good Thursday afternoon. Had to think about what day it is. Tonight I was gonna do a live on melatonin, but I decided, because I'm really busy tomorrow, I was also gonna do a live tomorrow. But I do have a lot going on tomorrow, and so I decided today was the best day to do tomorrow's live. So today I'm gonna talk about mental health and different things that go along with mental health. If you are interested in my melatonin video, hey Ashley, hey Aaron. If you are interested in my melatonin video, I actually just uploaded it to YouTube. So if you wanted to know what I had to say about melatonin and my thoughts and experiences, you can go to my YouTube channel and see that. But I decided to do the mental health live video tonight, and I know a lot of you are still at work, so this may be a replay video for a lot of you or some of you. But I recently got done watching a documentary that I've known about for a while. It's just taken me a while to get around to watching it. It's on Netflix, and it really compelled me to want to talk about this more. I know I talk about it a little bit, and anybody that knows me, you know, kind of knows my struggles, but it's not something, I definitely didn't talk about it after my pregnancies, and I should have. I should have done videos when I was really struggling through postpartum depression after both of my pregnancies, and instead, I just kind of shut off the world, and that was probably when I needed to talk about it the most. The documentary that I'm talking about, and if you haven't seen it, it's an amazing documentary. It's called When the Bough Breaks, and it is on Netflix. It is, I think, a little over an hour and a half long, but it is a documentary on postpartum depression. And that is something that I dealt heavily with both of my children. More so with my son than I did my daughter. But I thought it was bad with my daughter. And then I had my son, and it just hit almost twice as bad after I had him. Now, I do have a history of depression. I think when I was about 12... was when I realized something wasn't right and that I was sad, and I just didn't know what was wrong at that age, and went through really rough teenage years, and up until my early 20s went through really a rough time. You know, at the time, and I've said this before, at the time they just thought that it was really bad depression. I feel like throughout my 20s, I kind of just coasted. I feel like it was kind of laying dormant, I think. But I drank a lot. I did a lot of things in those years to kind of just mask everything. Yes, let me find that. I had your comment. Sorry, Ashley. Yes. And honestly, I guess I just thought it was a teenage thing, and I was like, okay, you know, I don't know why I was that bad as a teenager, and I dealt with the depression in my 20s, just I didn't deal with all the other stuff I did as a teenager. As a teenager, I dealt with a lot of anger and a lot of rebellion and so many things that I didn't know really what to do with or how to handle. But like I said, in my 20s, it just kind of lay dormant, and I lived my life, and I drank a lot those years. But it wasn't until I settled down and had kids that something changed in me. And after I had Naomi, I knew, sorry, I keep saying, it's like one of my favorite words when I'm doing lives. I don't know, I was so completely and utterly sad. And I've always wanted children, you know, that was always my dream. I really didn't even know if I would be able to. And so when I had Naomi and I had a girl, I always wanted a girl. I felt like I should be over the moon, and I wasn't. Things weren't okay. And I felt and thought a lot of things. I really struggled. Really struggled. I really don't even know how to describe it. I do know that when I watched the documentary When the Bow Breaks, the women that did the documentary spoke my life to a T. But it's hard to explain in person, and it's still not something I'm fully okay with opening up about. A lot of the things that I felt and whatnot, just because the world still is so judgmental about things that they don't understand, and I get it. I get it. But we figured out it was postpartum depression. And after about a year, I quit breastfeeding her, so I was able to kind of get back on medication again, and just kind of level out. But we knew we wanted another one. I knew I wanted another child with Naomi so that she would have a sibling. And I knew I wanted them to be close in age. What I didn't know is that it would get worse with my second one. And I'm trying not to go in lengthy detail about all this. I'm just kind of trying to, you know, give you like a snippet. But Solomon was so much worse. I remember the day after I had him and sitting in the hospital, or laying in the hospital bed. I had had a C-section. And I just lost it. Like, I wept and wept and wept in my mother's arms. I didn't even know what was wrong. I just knew something didn't feel right. It felt like all my hormones just plummeted. And I wasn't ready for it. And it was so bad. I was only able to breastfeed him a month, and I couldn't do it anymore. My postpartum depression with him was so bad that I don't remember his baby stage very much, and that's hard. That's hard because it's almost like I missed out on him being a baby, because I was in such a dark place. And it's really something that a whole lot of women don't talk about. And I understand I didn't talk about it at the time. And it's still hard to talk about. I mean, it's not easy, you know, coming out about all of these struggles. But I have realized since having my kids, and I've realized a lot of these things in private, but that a lot of women need women to come out about it. They need support. There needs to be more things in place to help women with postpartum depression. I do believe recently I was diagnosed bipolar. I believe, me personally, that having kids is what caused it. I don't know if that makes sense, but they do believe that as a teenager I was bipolar, and that's why I acted some of the ways that I did and did some of the things that I did, and they just misdiagnosed me. And I do believe that pregnancy kind of just something snapped in me hormonally, and the second one just did me in. And that's hard to talk about. You know, bipolar has a stigma, and you know, I know it, I see it, I feel it. Like I said in another video, it's something that I wake up every day and it's on my mind, and it's on my mind when I go to bed most days, unless I have a good day. And I try to really enjoy good days. But I want to help women. I think it's really hard for women to talk about, a lot of women, and they tend to feel alone. And the times that I have mentioned mental health, I have had women private message me. And that's my goal, is for women not to feel alone and for women to get the help that they need. I wish I had gotten more help when I was going through the postpartum depression, because it was one of the worst things I've ever been through, and I just don't feel like I really got to enjoy either of my children's baby years, because mentally I just wasn't there. I wasn't there through the baby years. And, you know, my husband and I, we really wanted, 3 or 4 children, but I knew that it wasn't in the best interest of us as a family to have any more, or for me as a mother, for my body, for my mind. And it was a hard decision to make. And I don't know if all of this will be, TMI for some people. I can tend to just be very honest about things. Like I said, there's a lot, I won't share on these videos, but what I will share is that mental illness and mental health is very real. It's a very real thing. And sorry, I hear my children in the background, so I'm trying to kind of listen to them while I talk. But it's okay. Admitting I had it was hard enough. Admitting that this was real was hard, but accepting it is a whole nother ballgame. I don't want to accept that I may have to live with this the rest of my life. I hate having feelings that I felt as a teenager. I hate feeling anger, and I don't even know where it comes from. Same as when I was a teenager. I had no idea where it came from. It was just this inner battle that I struggled with, that I'm struggling with now, that I literally thought I would never deal with again. When you go so many years in your 20s and you don't deal with something, I'm 31 now. I thought I was past that stage, and now I'm 31 and realizing that this is probably something I have to live with for the rest of my life. And that's really hard to accept. I'm still struggling to accept it. Especially on the bad days. I do not want to accept that this is something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life. But I feel like I'm being proactive, and that's hard to do. A big part of me doesn't want to be proactive, but I do. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of research on bipolar and depression, and even postpartum depression, so that I can help other women. I also research a lot of things and healthy things that I can do to help my mental health. Yes, I do take medication from a doctor, but I've realized I have to. That was another hard lesson to learn. I did try to get off medications, and after a week, I just realized I couldn't do it, that it wasn't in my best interest or in my family's best interest for me to go without medication. So I do take medication, but I am also researching healthy ways to deal with this. I take a really good fish oil supplement every day. I take a really, really good probiotic every day that also deals with mood. I take, I'm trying to think of all the supplements. I take a lot of B vitamins, I take folate. I actually take, right now I'm doing CBD oil capsules. I know I've talked about CBD oil in the past and that I do the liquid, but right now I'm doing the capsules. And I'm eating healthier. Justin and I researched, and I've gotten a couple books about eating better. One of them's even called The Bipolar Diet. It is really, really good. So we're eating a lot of lean meats and eating a lot of fish and eating a lot of green veggies. So I'm doing a lot of proactive things to help. As much as I hate the fact that I, do need medication, I am working on doing a lot of other natural remedies to help as well. I would like to think that one day I could just rely on natural remedies and eating well and exercising and stuff like that. So I just wanted to share, if you're just joining, I would love it if you would go back and watch my video from the beginning. I will do that, Ashley. I will, one of them is called The Bipolar Diet, and the other book, I can't remember, but I haven't started it yet, but I've heard it's a really good book. And the Bipolar Diet also gives you all these supplements that are really good to take, like fish oil and stuff like that. It also tells you like 12 different foods to stay away from, that trigger, which obviously I don't do everything perfect because there's just some things I like in life and I'm just going to do it. But, I'm trying. And the one thing I do wish I had talked about a lot sooner was postpartum depression. That is something I really, really struggled with. It is very real. And, if it is something you've dealt with, or if it is something you're going through right now, watching When the Bow Breaks on Netflix is a must. It is so good. It is so powerful. Watch it till the very end. It said things that I don't feel like I can say out loud. These women were able to say things that I don't feel like I can say on my social media or say on YouTube. There's still things I'm scared to say. But they were, they said them, and it was just nice to know that I wasn't alone. I love my kids. Kids is something I always wanted. I definitely always wanted a little girl, and God gave me that. And I now have a sweet little cantankerous mama's boy, and I absolutely love him. But definitely having kids changed me, and I'm doing the best that I can. And luckily, I have an amazing, supporting husband. I know that women don't always have that, and sometimes it's really hard for him. There are days he struggles, and we've actually thought about doing live videos together. And I think we would be good at it. I think him and I would do well because we communicate really well, and I think it would be fun for us to do live videos together. But he does try. He tries to work with me and to help me and to figure out how to do this. So I will quit rambling on, but I just privately, I know a lot of women that struggle with this, and I feel like it needs to be talked about more. And even if you don't feel like you can talk about it, I want to be the voice for somebody. And I want to be somebody's voice that doesn't feel like they can talk, but they can come to me. And, there are, I don't know about necessarily where I live, but there are resources out there for women with postpartum depression, and it is something, and they do actually have an organization called When the Bow Breaks, and I found it on Facebook. I did like that page if you want to go on Facebook and look at the page, but I would like to learn more about the organization. There is another one I think called Jenny's Light that I learned about from the movie. It's really good. Women with postpartum depression or women with mental illness isn't something to be afraid of. We just need love and help like anybody else. And I think we're afraid to talk about it because we're afraid we're going to scare people, or, we don't know what people will think of us. But I just tend to love those women even more because I know the struggle and I know what they're going through. So I hope this video has helped somebody, even those that I hope will replay this. But I think for those of you that did watch, I appreciate it. Actually, I will send you that information. I can hear my children now, so I probably need to go while I can. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.